What's up? Welcome to the Short and Sweet podcast. I'm your host, David Shorten, as always, and you can tweet me at dshortenmusic. You can see what I'm up to at davidshorten.com. And today, did I forget my phone? I need my phone for my notes. Oh, here it is. Oh, close one. Glad I didn't mess that one up. All right. So, today we're gonna, as always, have some music. But first, I have a story. I was visiting a friend. This friend is from Venezuela, living in New York right now. I was visiting her, and she was talking to her friend, also Venezuelan, so they were talking in Spanish, and I heard this expression that I didn't quite catch at first. It was trabajar como negro para vivir como güero, which means to work like a black person in order to live like a white person. And I was really surprised to hear this come out of her mouth, because I guess instinctively to me that sounds really racist. And I know that this person isn't a racist. I remember actually a specific time the same person was sending me a Snapchat of two of her friends who were Colombian talking about how like inferior Mexicans are. and she was like snapping this in order to say, look at these racist people talking about the inferiority of Mexicans. So I know she's not a racist. And when I think about the expression, working like a black person to live like a white person, it seems like the kind of thing that for a Hispanic person, they could potentially be, well, they are really, they were, I guess, a third party to this historical fact that the black people were the ones doing all the labor and the white people profited. So I don't know, this is kind of a more touchy example, but it made me think of something that I had pondered a little bit before, which is what the difference is between a racist joke or a racist saying and a racial joke or saying. Because racism is the attitude that a certain race of people is inherently inferior. Everyone knows that's racist to think that, but not all jokes that play on race are necessarily racist, right? Like, if I make a joke that plays on an observation about a race, but that isn't derogatory, like say, South Americans cook food better than North Americans, which I think is true. Like, come on, we have like our signature dish is like, what is it called? Shepherd's pie. It's like one of the most bland things, and we're like, ooh, shepherd's pie, where they have all these spices and stuff. And it's the same with like people from India. Like, food culture in other parts of the world is so much better than North American food. So if you were to make a joke or a comment stating that, it wouldn't be a racist joke because it would be true, and it would be more of a racial joke. So that to me is an interesting concept. But this saying, working like a black person to live like a white person, I don't know if that is something that Hispanics should maybe keep in their repertoire of jokes, especially if they're gonna like. The funny thing about it is that like they're never really gonna get reprimanded for it because they're only speaking with each other. No one's gonna say, wow, that's really racist of you, because the only person who would say that is like a North American. Some social justice warrior would be like, you shouldn't say that about, but they're not going to really notice. They're just going to keep saying it amongst each other like it's nothing because they've probably been saying it forever. And I don't know. I found that interesting. You can tweet me at DShortenMusic if you think that specific saying is racist or if it's not. I don't know. I don't think I can bring myself to say that it is for sure a racist joke because, again, it's kind of like a third-party observation of a historical reality. But at the same time, I think in order to be a prudent person, probably it's best to avoid using it, just to be sensitive, because we want to be sensitive, right? I don't know. That was just kind of a thought that I had that I thought was worthy of podcasting. If you're joining us now, we're live on Periscope. We'll be up on Soundcloud later and YouTube. Follow me at DShortenMusic for all these wonderful topics we're going to talk about. I'm going to get straight to the music. I hope I can pull this off. I don't know if I told you guys, but I have to eat through a tube now. If you are not watching and you are only listening on SoundCloud, you're missing some important details. Let's see here. As usual, got to build the beat. We got the right tempo. Gotta make sure my camera doesn't fall. This is sketch, let me tell you. All right, let's do this.
Slide your feet up the street, bend your back, shift your arm and you pull it back. Life's hard, you know, oh way, yo, so strike a pose on a Cadillac. If you want to find all the cops, they're hanging out in the donut shop. With the and dance, oh way, oh, they swing their batons round the block. All the cops in the donut shop, they're like, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. All the cops in the donut shop, they're like, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Walk like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian.
All right. So, I don't know. Maybe some of you will want to know what this is, this thing.
Maybe some of you will want to know what this is. It's called a talk box. It's called a talk box. I like to jam on my talk box. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's jam on the talk box. I like to say some words about my talk box. I like to I don't know what I'm saying.
I won't waste your time too much longer with that. I'm out of breath because you have to hold your breath while you do it. Otherwise, you hear breathing sounds. Ugh. Okay, well, if you just joined now on Periscope, you totally missed all the music. But, like I said before, it'll be on Soundcloud. It'll be on YouTube. Make sure you follow me on Periscope so that you can not miss it next time. With the remaining time in the podcast, I want to talk about religion, because religion's always an interesting topic for me. Wow, I'm still panting. This is pathetic. Hello, Frog from China. I'm just greeting my friend on Periscope, who is greeting me. So, recently I looked into what the creation myth in Hinduism is, because I was curious. It's good to know about other religions. Even if you think they're utterly false, you should probably check them out. And I was actually surprised because it's creepily reminiscent of the Christian creation myth. And what this prompted me to talk about a little bit is kind of our attitude as religious people when we talk with other people about religion. I grew up with kind of an attitude that you should just really stay away from any other, don't even look into other religions. They're just bad. They'll get you into bad stuff. And now I'm not really like that, because it doesn't get you anywhere if you want to have good conversations with people. Good conversations involve give and take. You kind of need to invest a little bit. You need to show that you can be interested in what someone else's belief is, and that you're looking for the good in it. Why shouldn't we look for the good in beliefs that are different from ours? Take the good, leave the bad. That's all I'm saying, you know? I'm not asking anyone to embrace something that they think is false. But here's the thing. Let's talk about this creation myth. So it starts with Vishnu, who is God, floating on the water. Immediately, I'm thinking of Genesis, where it says, "And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters." It's pretty similar. Not only that, but what happens next is Brahma, which is also God, grows out of the navel of Vishnu in this lotus flower. Again, the Christian doctrine is that God the Son is begotten by God the Father. It says in Hebrews 1:3, he is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature. So again, it's kind of like, it's not the same, but it's very, it's kind of painting a similar picture, right? Then Vishnu tells Brahma to create the world. So Brahma creates the world by taking pieces of this lotus flower and making everything with it. And once again, my mind is drawn to John 1:3. All things were made through him, referring to Jesus in this case. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So we have in the Christian doctrine that creation happened through Jesus, who is the Word of God. So I found that really uncanny, to be honest. I decided today to wear my Hindu, well, it's not a Hindu shirt, but it's definitely an Indian shirt. I don't know if you can see this, but the symbol in the middle of my shirt here, oh, you can't hear me anymore. The symbol in the middle of my shirt here, it's the symbol for Om. Om has a lot of meanings. I don't remember what all of them are, but there's actually a missionary at my church named Benji who told me it means light. That's one of its meanings. And Om also appears at the beginning of this myth. So you have, and again, that's let there be light. There was always light. Om also means, I think, the infinite, the beginning and the end. It has a lot of meanings, and all the meanings are really in line with what Christianity states about the beginning of the world. So that just made me think, as a Christian, I believe that the Bible is divinely inspired, and I'm not going to take any other literature and say that it's divinely inspired, because that's risky, right? Because I can't know. We take by faith that the Bible is inspired because people who were historically and obviously divinely inspired, like St. Paul, they quoted from these scriptures as being divinely inspired. So we know that both their writings and the writings that they quoted from are from God. That's kind of our reasoning for that. So I'm not going to go take the Rig Veda or the Quran and say this is divinely inspired too. But I think this is an important question to ask ourselves. Is it possible that extra biblical sources can be divinely inspired? That's a scary question for Christians. We're immediately kind of expected to be no, they can't. Only the Bible. And I believe that. Only the Bible. I'm never going to take any other authority other than the Bible. But I think for the sake of having some common ground in our discussions with people of other faiths, I think it's good to acknowledge that God can speak to other people, and maybe he did. So if I find a scripture in another religion that is completely in line with something that is stated in the Bible, then I can say, well, yeah, this is true. This comes from truth, and God is true. So then that allows you not to have to be afraid of other religions. Why should you be afraid of another religion? If you really believe that what you believe is true, you have nothing to be afraid of. It confirms itself. So that's going to be all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you follow me at D Shorten Music. D Shorten Music. And check me out on SoundCloud and YouTube as well. You can hear anything that you may have missed during this episode. Have a good one.